learners, and welcome to this session on functions of language. I am Dr. Samina Azhar from the Department of English at the Bhopal School of Social Sciences. In today's session, we shall discuss functions of language as given by various linguists. You might be surprised to learn that there are approximately 7,000 different languages spoken all over the world. They have their own pronunciation, word formation, and sentence structure. In spite of all these differences, all the languages have one purpose, that is to communicate with other people. If we define language according to Sapir, language is purely human and non-instinctive method of communicating ideas, emotions, and desires by means of voluntarily produced symbols. So language is a complex phenomenon. Various linguists like Michael Halliday, Roman Jakobson, Geoffrey Finch, and Jeffrey Leach have tried to understand and explain the functions of language. In this session, we shall be discussing functions of language given by Michael Halliday and Roman Jakobson. Now let us discuss Michael Halliday's functions of language. Michael Alexander Kirkwood Halliday was a British linguist. He studied major areas of linguistics, both theoretical and applied, and was concerned applying the linguistic principles to the theory and practices in education. He gave 7 functions of language: instrumental, regulatory, interactional, personal, heuristic, imaginative, and representational. The first 4 functions were divided in one group. The last 3 functions were divided into second group. The first group functions, they are related to the early childhood years of a child. And the last 3 functions help a child to come to terms with the external environment. Now let us discuss the 7 functions of language given by Michael Halliday. The first function is instrumental function. The instrumental function of language helps a child to express his social, emotional, and physical needs. For example, when a child says, "I want food" or "I am thirsty," the child is expressing his needs, his physical needs. Then we have the next one, which is regulatory function of a language. Here the child tells others using language to what to do. In a way, he is trying to control the others. And we have sentences like "go away," "give me a glass of juice," expressing regulatory function of a language. Next we come to interactional function of a language. We all know that we use language to develop emotional bonds or relationships. So here, this function of a language helps us to connect with others and form relationships. So when you say, "I admire you," or "I love my pet dog," you are trying to build a bond, an emotional bond with others. Then the next function of language is personal function. We know that language helps us to express our emotions, our desires, our feelings, and opinions. So this function of language helps us to express our opinions, our emotions. So when I say I like sweets or I want to go out, I'm talking about my feelings, my emotions. Next, we move on to the second group of functions given by Halliday. The first one is heuristic. It is used to gain knowledge. This function of language helps a person to ask questions. For example, what are you doing? Why is the cat sleeping? Why is the sky blue? Here, interrogative sentences are used to gain knowledge or to get information about the environment. Next, we move on to imaginative functions. Language is used to tell stories about fairies, monsters. So, through this function of language, a child can build his own imaginary world. For example, the monster breathes fire and the fairy has a magic wand. So, the use of imagination takes place through this function. Last is the representational function. Here, language helps to convey information or facts. For example, the horse is brown. This is a fact. And the kitchen light isn't working. This is an information. Next, we move to another popular linguist, Roman Jakobson. Roman Jakobson was a pioneer of structural linguistics of the 20th century. He was born in Russia and he was a member of formal school of thought. Later, he became one of the founding members of linguistics circle in New York. He was a professor at Harvard and MIT, and he gave 6 primary functions of language: emotive, poetic, referential, phatic, metalingual, and conative. Before we discuss these 6 primary functions of language given by Roman Jakobson, let us talk about his communication theory. We all know that we use language to communicate. Jakobson gave 6 factors or 6 elements required for an act of verbal communication. First, he said, is addresser or sender, the person who is interested to communicate or to give message. The second one is addressee or the receiver, the audience or the person that receives the message. Third is the context, that is the setting, the condition or the environment of the message. The next is a channel, which is a link or connection between the addresser and addressee. Next is common code. The common code here is the language which is used between the addresser and addressee, and the language has its own rules that are to be followed by both of them. Then we have a message. The message is about an experience, idea, or emotion which the sender sends to the receiver. Now, what Roman Jakobson did, he said that these elements or factors of communication, they corresponds with the functions of language. So we have context, which is referential as the function of language, sender, expressive or emotive, receiver, conative, channel, phatic, code, metalingual, and message, poetic. And these are the functions which we are going to discuss in detail. So let us move to the referential function of language. This function of a language helps to convey information in an objective way. So information is conveyed through this function of language. For example, sales are up by 3% this quarter is referential function of a language where something is informed to the receiver. Then the next one we have is expressive or emotive function of language. Here, the emotive functions give us direct information about the sender's tone, emotions, feelings. So we have sentence, I am excited about the new car. So we know about the tone of the sender, that the sender is excited. Poetic function. Next we have is poetic function. Poetic function is also known as the aesthetic function of language. Here, the message might be decorated with rhetorical figures of speech like metaphors and similes. For example, shall I compare thee to a summer day? Hope is the thing with feathers. Here we are using flowery language. So it gives us pleasure. Next we have is phatic function of language. We all know that language is a social phenomenon, and therefore we want as the members of society to connect with each others, and this social connection takes place only through language. So we have sentences like how are you, I am fine, see you later. Here we are using language to establish social connection. Next we have is metalingual. Meta means self-awareness. And here the language is used to talk about itself. So we use language to talk about its features, word definitions, clarifying ambiguity, and describing deliberate wordplay. For example, the sentence is, I couldn't help but feel a touch of Schadenfreude, which is, of course, a difficult word, when the other team lost by 50 points. So when I have this difficult word, Schadenfreude, I have given an explanation of that within brackets, which is a sense of pleasure or joy from the failure of others. So this is what we refer to as metalingual function of language. And next we move to conative function of language. Here we use language to get the reaction of the receiver. So the language is meant to get the attention or the reaction of the receiver. And we have sentences, can you show Jane where to find the paper clips? Come inside and eat. So we want the receiver to react. We want receiver's action. And with this, we come to an end to our discussion on functions of language. Thank you for watching.